This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Friday, January 3rd, 2025. I'm Marek Mazurek. President Joe Biden has rejected the nearly $15 billion proposed deal for Japanese company Nippon Steel to purchase Pittsburgh-based U.S. Steel, affirming his vow in March to block the acquisition. His decision comes after the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States failed to reach a consensus on the possible national security risks of the deal last month and sent a long-awaited report on the merger to Biden, who had 15 days to reach a final decision. However, on Friday, both U.S. Steel and Nippon called Biden's decision an overreach of law and vowed to fight it in court. The Committee on Foreign Investment didn't reach a consensus, but said the merger could pose risks to the U.S. in the form of lowered steel capacity. The 2024 holiday season saw historic levels of travel across both Indiana and the U.S., with AAA estimates revealing approximately 40% of Indiana's population travel more than 50 miles to celebrate. The Automobile Association estimates almost 2.8 million Hoosiers traveled at least 50 miles between December 21st and January 1st, which is slightly more than the 2.7 million who hit the road in 2023. AAA also estimates that national travel hit a peak in 2024, with 119.3 million people going more than 50 miles for the holidays, slightly more than the 119.27 million who traveled in 2019. That marks an important milestone in national travel trends, according to AAA Hoosier Motor Club spokesperson Christina Griffiths.
The travel numbers, even going back to I think 2002, they were increasing every single year up until 2019. And then COVID happened in 2020, everybody stayed home, and now we've been kind of slowly building back up. So now this is the first year that we've actually surpassed 2019 numbers too. So it's kind of like we're back on that sort of trend of the slow increase over time.
Griffith said Christmas falling on a Wednesday and many people having work-from-home flexibility helped boost those numbers. Gas prices for the holiday stretch also likely aided in the uptick of travel, since close to 90% of people who travel choose to drive. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
A New York-based financial services company has completed its acquisition of One America Financial's full-service retirement plan business, a deal valued at up to $210 million when it was announced nearly 4 months ago. Voya Financial Inc. now serves more than 60,000 retirement plans, supporting nearly 8 million participants as a result of the transaction, the company said Thursday. An undisclosed number of employees from One America Financial, Indianapolis's largest private company with more than 2,500 workers, are now Voya employees. One America's retirement plan business had about $47 billion in assets under administration through a variety of retirement plans, non-qualified deferred compensation plans, and employee stock ownership plans. Its other product lines include life insurance, annuities, asset-based long-term care products, and employee benefits. Under the terms of the deal announced in September, Voya was to pay $50 million upfront for the retirement plan business, plus up to an additional $160 million in the second quarter of 2026, contingent on the performance of certain metrics. Voya has not specified how many One America Financial employees would be affected or whether any jobs would be cut. Industry sources told IBJ that the employees in the unit number in the hundreds. After 2 years of study committee debate and campaign promises, lawmakers have started to provide a glimpse of how tax reform conversations have developed into legislation for the 2025 session. Policymakers have proposed at least 12 bills, including several that seek to create or adjust property tax credits and institute freezes of tax bills. Changes are also drafted for gas income and sales taxes. Bills will be formally introduced and assigned to committees beginning next week. A legislative committee studied property taxes over the past 2 years, which resulted in broad recommendations released in November. Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Chair Travis Holdman said in mid-December that his caucus is ready to introduce between 12 and 15 property tax bills. In addition, one of Governor-elect Mike Braun's campaign promises was to slash property taxes. Under Braun's plan, increases in property tax bills would be capped at 2% annually for seniors, low-income Hoosiers, and family with children under 18. Increases would be capped at 3% for all other property owners. For more on potential tax reform, head to InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Check out the latest episode of the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.